commitment in Porsche curves. I'm going to stay in 7th this time. 7th gear. Oh, here we go. Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to the Traxion channel for another brand new video. Now this weekend marks the incredible Le Mans 24-hour event, and on Saturday Alpine are going to be bringing one of their current F1 cars to do some demonstrating with Fernando Alonso behind the wheel. He's even brought his little pet Esteban Ocon along too to have a go in the Alpine A110 GT4, bless him. Now this is the first time in the modern era that the Automobile Club de West have had a Formula 1 car as part of the demonstration parade on the Saturday, so a lot of people believe that this is actually an indication that there's going to be an announcement from Alpine later this week about a full Le Mans Hypercar program. I mean, it might even already have happened by the time you actually see this video. Now the likelihood is, of course, that this run will be at a very slow pace, very safe, and you're not trying to break any records, they'll just be demonstrating the car, but it did get the minds at Traxion Towers thinking. What would a modern F1 car actually be like around the Circuit de la Sarthe? Would it be as quick as the hypercars? Would it be slower? Obviously the cars aren't built to do this kind of track with the long straights. The hybrid unit wouldn't really handle it very well. But the nice thing about simulation and racing games is you can find out these sorts of things. We're going to fire up R Factor 2 because we have a very recent version of the Circuit de la Sarthe that's laser scanned, so it'll be very accurate. And we also have the recent Formula Pro car, which is basically a 2022 F1 car with a great whopping V10 strapped on the back. So turn your headphones up to 11 and let the noise commence. Circuit de la Sarthe in a modern day F1 car. Very exciting. Okay, so at first I think I'm just going to do some sighting laps and see how this thing behaves. We're going to have to readjust all of our braking points that I normally use for this track, maybe some lines, and of course the straights are going to be very different as well. Okay, this is it. Out of the pit lane. Sorry, I love doing that. Just spin up the rears in this car. The car's going to be very quick compared to the hypercars through the high downforce sections, and we're going to lose all of our time in the straights, I think. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that the new hypercar era is very different to the LMP1 era that came before it. Whew. The LMP1 cars were quicker, and these new hypercars are kind of similar speed to LMP2s. So that gives the F1 car more of a chance, and I guess by this weekend we'll know more about the hypercar potential. Yeah, I'm maxing out at 210. Can I open my DRS? I can open DRS. 213 miles an hour. I'm going to need to adjust the gearing a little bit. Okay, I've lengthened the gear ratios, and I've also taken off some wing. I didn't really get going with it properly, but I figured that for this track, you're going to need a lot of speed in a straight line, so we've gone with that. It's still not going to be great. We probably still will be maxing out in the straight, but at least it gives us a little bit more speed. In terms of driving aids, I'm not using traction control, but I am using a little bit of anti-lock brakes just to help things along. And yeah, very similar to what I used in the Formula Pro First Impressions video, if you watched that one. Okay, it's a little bit better. We're reaching 216 with DRS. Still not great, but to be honest, you don't spend too long at top speed. Oh, very much struggling for grip on the exit of these corners. I don't know if that means the track's just green or the tyres aren't warm yet. Probably the tyres aren't warm yet. I should learn from the first time, shouldn't I? Now, I believe the lap records in LMP1, we're looking at 3:14, around about that, which is just phenomenal. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get close to that. And in LMP2, I believe it's a 3:25, unless that was beaten and I didn't know about it. But that's the kind of ballpark we're looking for in terms of the lap time comparison. Now, bear in mind, I'm not going to spend too long on this, so, and obviously I'm not optimizing a setup or anything. I'm kind of just going with a regular setup that would be used for the likes of Spa, with a bit less wing, and just up the gear ratios. So I honestly don't know how it's going to be. I really don't. I'm very intrigued. I expect it to be slower than the LMP1, but I think we can get the LMP2. But let's wait and see. First time through the Porsche curves. This new CSL DD wheel really helping me through here with the feeling. I'm pretty sure this is going to be flat, or at least almost flat when it comes to the fast laps. Ooh, watch the curbs. Oh, this is going to be so much fun through the Porsche curves, guys. I think they might be my favourite corners ever, anywhere. But in this car, it's going to be insane. So we're coming to the end of the sighting lap. That didn't take long to cover. Now let's do a first flying lap then. I'm going to try not to push too hard. I'm going to just, be nice and easy. Set a banker, and then hopefully we'll be able to go from there. Just need to remember everything I learned about this car, not getting on the power too aggressively or too early. Nice and smooth. Watch the bumps through there. That's a tricky corner. Not terrible so far. And downforce will keep you glued to the road through there. And we head on to the first part of the Mulsanne. I forgot to open DRS. That's something I'm going to have to get used to. Now, where am I going to brake? I'm going to say 150 at first, or 100. Easy. Okay, so we can brake at least at the 100, but probably a lot later. Oh my word. There's going to be a lot of weird noises in this video, I can guarantee it. And I forgot to open DRS again. Well done. Okay, I think this chicane is similar speed, slightly faster, so let's brake later than the 100. Down to third, in over the curb. Very cautious on the power. I could obviously add the wing back in and make the car more stable, but then we're just going to lose so much in the straight line. I feel like I need to actually persevere and just learn how to drive it with the lack of downforce. But one thing I will say is I'm already, like, you can see the smile on my face. I'm having a great time already. It's so much fun. It's such a good track, and I kind of thought, oh wow, I kind of thought a Formula 1 car might kind of feel a bit wrong around here and a bit lost, but the straights don't last that long. You're so quickly into the next corner. Sun blinding me, as I'm sure the drivers in real life will go through the same problems. I've done a few endurance races at Anglesey. Not that there's any sunshine at Anglesey, but there is, you know, you do deal with changing conditions and changing levels of light, and it gets very, very tricky, especially with the glaring of the lights behind you. Oh, I went too deep in there. I know it. I know it. No! Onto the gravel. Okay. That's ruined that lap to a degree. I mean, it wasn't going to be a super quick one anyway, but we didn't lose huge amounts of time, so let's just keep it going. We're already up at the 2:30 mark as we head into the Porsche curves. I'm not going to do it flat yet. I'm not going to try it. 6th gear, though. Oh, it's so smooth. Yes. Okay. You can carry so much speed through there. And I've invalidated that, I'm sure. I don't even know if the corner cut penalties are on, but it doesn't matter. We'll get an idea. And our first banker lap is going to be oh wow, it's faster than I thought, guys. It's a 3:10.5. We've already smashed the LMP1 time out of the park. It's clearly not the car that's making the difference. It's clearly this incredible driver that you witness right now. Oh, okay, let's see how much commitment we can take through here. Downshift 5th on the throttle. Bit of oversteer. 3:10.5. 3:10.5. That's a surprise. Like, obviously the car is going to be phenomenal in the corners, but I really thought we'd lose more than that in the straights. Now, what I'd love to do is sit down with my engineer and make a Le Mans specific setup and really, you know, see how fast this thing could go. Honestly, it feels like a privilege to be able to do this. I don't know if it's just because this wheelbase is so amazing and the rig, but this car around this track with this setup is so much fun. I'm loving it, and I do a lot of sim racing, and you know, if you do laps and laps and laps, it can get boring sometimes. There's no denying that. But honestly, I don't think I would get bored of this. I could sit here for an hour easily without even a hint of boredom with nobody else on the track. Okay, can I take Indianapolis flat? Scary on the brakes. It's doable. It's doable, and you've got the downforce to get the car slowed down. Now I need to remember this one through our nage. It was too early on the brakes, but I didn't want to make the same mistake as last time. Guys, can we go under 3 minutes? I mean, I don't think I will today, but, you know, give it a bit of time, and as I say, with the right person, I think this car could do under 3 minutes. What we're going to do through here then, Porsche curves, little lift. Oh, that was close to the limits. Down to 6th. Oh, you just breathe in. Don't cut the track this time on the exit. I've cut the track on the exit. Okay, so these laps aren't fully legit. I did obviously lose time though, rather than gain, which is something, but I need to be a bit slower on the exit of that last corner or adjust my line or something. Okay, well I mucked up at the end, but it's a 3:07.5. Let's go, come on. That was better through there. Looking at the delta, we didn't really gain much, to be honest. Oh, I forgot to open DRS again. Oh, I'd need to get my head around that. You can open DRS anytime in this kind of qualifying session, so I'm definitely giving some free time away here. Focus more on the exit, but the curbs really unsettle the car, and honestly, you can't give it a bootful because the rears will spin up, so you've got to be very careful. Slightly better exit that time, and I'm sure I'll be able to gain that extra half second in the second half of the lap. everything is so different. All of your braking points, your reference points, it all changes because you've just got a differing speed and different levels of downforce. And to be honest, you're probably not carrying quite as much speed on the way into the corners, but you've got better braking performance. Oh, I've forgotten DRS again. You've got better braking performance and more downforce, so you can carry more speed in, and you can brake later, and you're not carrying as much on the straight to begin with. So basically what I'm trying to say is you can brake a heck of a lot later and still get away with it, which creates a whole new challenge. Indianapolis again, flat out, brake. Chuck it in at high speed. Probably should have stayed in third, not second, but we've gained all that time back. A bit more committed into Arnage. Go second gear so we can get the power down. I remember DRS, but I didn't get my gear change. Okay, Porsche curves. I'm gonna try it flat. Let's see what happens. Nothing to lose. Accept my dignity. I'm sure if that happened in real life, you would also be able to continue like this. Okay, so I want to try that as an experiment. Porsche curves aren't quite flat, at least on the way in. But to be honest, with a bit more downforce, maybe almost flat at least. Okay, let's try and do a better lap now. Come on, 305. I want a 305. Okay, be a bit less greedy with the brakes here. Gonna brake just at the 100. Made the apex much better line through it. Can't quite get on the power fully. Watch that curb. DRS open early, and there we go. There's the gains. So much better when you don't hit the curbs. I got the DRS open a tiny bit too early, and you can see the back end instantly snapped on me, but I held it, and we're now 6/10 up. I really want that 305. Come on. Okay, I'm 1.2 seconds up, heading towards Porsche curves now. Not going to take it flat this time. Just one quick downshift. I'm sure it could be done quicker, but I want to make it to the end of the lap. Oh, car snapped to me there. Oh, it's just almost going. Not going to cut the track this time on the exit. Oh, I lost a huge amount, but then I get it back because I was composed. But yeah, it's still only a second up. Oh, missed my apex there. I didn't see the curb. So much time still on the table. Give it a boot full. Is it going to be under 305? 304.997. Far from perfect, but under 305. Let's give it one more go. Guys, I've not had this much fun hot lapping for quite a while, and that is 100% genuine truth. It could never happen, but could you imagine a Grand Prix around here and the slipstream effect on the Mulsanne? The leader would never get away. There's always enough straights for whoever's in second to catch them. And just watching the F1 cars try and follow in dirty air through Porsche curves, that would be a spectacle and a half. We need F1 to come back to Le Mans. But as I say, literally never going to happen. Okay, we've gained a little bit back, up a 10th. I know there's a lot more time at the end of the lap again. It's just a case of how much do I push it. I don't want to crash, but can I get under a 204? Going to use all of the road heading into Indianapolis. Carry loads of speed in. Third gear early on the curb. Use a bit of DRS. Through into Arnage. Don't overdrive in here. Tiny bit too early on the brakes. Oh, I didn't get the gear change, but still gain on the exit. Come on, come on. Okay, it's time for even more commitment in Porsche curves. I'm going to stay in 7th this time. 7th gear. Oh, here we go. Come on, hold on. Oh, that was so much nicer. So much better. Okay, don't miss the apex. I need to be able to look for it. It just happens so fast. Where is it? Slow, but safer. Into the last corner. Bit too much curb. On the power. Give it a boot full. It's going to be a 302.784. I'm done. I'm done. I mean, I could keep going for an hour, but my heart couldn't. So the question was, how would a modern day F1 car fare against Circuit de la Sarthe? And I didn't expect it to be as quick as it was. I know this is the 2022 car with a V10, and the hybrid engines really wouldn't suit. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. The hybrid power units wouldn't suit this track because they need to recharge. You need to be able to hit the brakes a lot. You need tight corners. You can't deal with loads of long straights. It just doesn't work. So I'd say this era of F1 car without the V10 in the back probably would struggle because you just couldn't regenerate the power. But with the V10, in terms of the modern aerodynamic ability and everything, this car smashes the lap times of the LMPs. And I don't know why I was so surprised. I just thought that, you know, with all the downforce that the modern prototypes have, I kind of had a feeling that this car would struggle. However, what I would like to have seen is what the Porsche 919 Evo would have done around there without any of the limitations and restrictions. So yeah, there's a challenge for some other time. But that's going to be it for today. I don't need to say anything else. You saw the video. You saw how much fun that was for me to drive. And if you have this car on track, I'm going to say it as always, please give it a go. I thoroughly recommend it. Thank you so much for watching as always, and make sure you subscribe to the Traxion channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. But until I see you next time, keep it pinned and have a great day. Oh, and enjoy Le Mans. That's going to be amazing.